Welcome to Value City Arena here for tonight's Big Ten Hockey Tournament opener. Welcome to Value City Arena here for tonight's Big Ten Hockey Tournament opener.
Yeah, it's playing. That's playing. I think it's good. Yeah, now it's good. That woke it up.
Welcome to Value City Arena here for tonight's Big Ten Hockey Tournament opener.
Yeah, it's playing. That's playing.
We've got the Ohio State Buckeyes welcoming in Penn State Nittany Lions.
I think it's good. Yeah, now it's good. That woke it up.
Welcome to Value City Arena here for tonight's Big Ten Hockey Tournament opener.
Yeah, it's playing. That's playing.
We've got the Ohio State Buckeyes welcoming in Penn State Nittany Lions.
I think it's good. Yeah, now it's good. That woke it up.
Welcome to Value City Arena here for tonight's Big Ten Hockey Tournament opener.
Yeah, it's playing. That's playing.
We've got the Ohio State Buckeyes welcoming in Penn State Nittany Lions.
I think it's good. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Know that you're going, even if he's quiet.
All right.
Welcome to the Big Ten Men's Ice Hockey Tournament first round here, the quarterfinal series tonight on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. It's the number 4 Ohio State Buckeyes welcoming in the number 5 seed Penn State Nittany Lions. You're listening to the Scarlet and Gray pregame show. I'm Jack Murphy. Alongside me is Andrew Conover. And tonight, the Buckeyes come back, Andrew, after a little week off here, starting out the Big Ten tournament before we get the NCAA tournament later this month. Buckeyes coming in as a 4 seed. They were the number 1 seed, but they fall after a tough last 4 games of the season. That sets them up. Tonight we got 3 games across the Big Ten, Michigan and Michigan State. Puck dropping at 7 p.m. as well in Ann Arbor. Notre Dame welcoming Wisconsin for Game 1 in South Bend. And then here tonight in Columbus, the Buckeyes welcoming the Nittany Lions. And Andrew, we've seen the Buckeyes, as I said, drop their last 4 games. They saw Mason Lohrei get hurt, their second leading point scorer on this team, as a freshman nonetheless. He is doubtful for this entire series, definitely not playing tonight. And despite playing a team here that they've been successful against, Ohio State coming in 3-1 against the Nittany Lions in the regular season, there's some nerves.
Oh, absolutely, Jack. There absolutely is. And right now, this is going to be a much different contest between these two sides than we saw earlier in the season. You look at the landscape of the Big Ten, how the conference has changed since we've moved into tournament play. The Buckeyes, just a couple of weeks ago, Jack, were sitting in a comfortable first place, 5 points ahead of Minnesota in second, and now it's a much different picture. The Buckeyes falling to 4th in the conference standings and getting them that 4 seed in the tournament. Minnesota, on the other hand, jumped all the way up, as we saw in the standings, Jack, all the way into first. They secured that bye. They will get the winner of whoever the lowest seed to come through this Big Ten quarterfinal round is up in Minneapolis. But it's going to be a very big test for this talented Buckeyes team tonight. They're good on both sides of the ice, but Mason Lohrei, you did mention his absence, that knee injury he sustained against Minnesota. It's going to be difficult to see this Ohio State team, who has already struggled to score goals down the stretch of the season, being offensively productive tonight without one of their biggest stars out of the lineup.
Yeah, Ohio State has been struggling to really run their offense, haven't looked at themselves without Mason Lohrei on the ice. And as we said, they dropped their last 4, but the Penn State Nittany Lions are coming in, coming off a tough February themselves. They had a series on the February 4th, 5th weekend against the University of Notre Dame, where they lost both games, including a 7-2 drubbing on Friday night. Then they welcomed the University of Minnesota, where they were swept at home. And then they ended the series with a 1-1 split in Michigan State against the 7th-ranked Spartans. So Penn State is coming in struggling here, but you know they sense that it is a new season here and that they have a team in Ohio State who's been struggling that they can take advantage of. It looks like Penn State is going to roll with the sophomore, Liam Solaire, as the goalie tonight. Oscar Audio, the senior, has been splitting back and forth. He played 23 games. Solaire had played 11 games this season with a 5-5-1 record. Audio was 10-13. So going with the hot hand here, it appears, are the Nittany Lions. And Andrew, what are some other guys that we're looking to see out of Penn State here that Ohio State's going to have to keep their eye on?
Well, definitely if you look on the offensive side of things, you've got a couple of weapons on the right side of the rink tonight for the Penn State Nittany Lions. You got Kevin Wall, the 6'1 junior out of Penfield, New York. He got drafted by the Carolina Hurricanes a couple rounds ago in the NHL draft, so definitely a prospect that is going to be challenging for the Buckeyes defense, especially we talked about already missing Mason Lowride to deal with tonight. He's not only their leading assist man, Jack, he's also one of the better defensemen on the Buckeyes as well, so it'll be interesting to see how they handle that first line attack from Penn State. And then deeper down into the rotation, you have the senior Ben Copeland from Edina, Minnesota, one of the most productive players in Penn State hockey history. 23 career goals, 50 career assists. Anytime you're up in the 70, 80 points range for your career in collegiate hockey, that is an absolutely stunning career. He will be a big factor, a big veteran presence on that third line on the right side for Penn State. It'll be interesting, like I said, to see how Ohio State is able to deal with this offensive pressure from the Nittany Lions, missing one of their biggest defensive pieces. And they played with him in the entire season, so this is not something that the Buckeyes are going to have any experience with dealing with Mason Lowride's absence. A couple other things I wanted to note, Jack, before we turn it over to the national anthem here soon, is that Penn State, since their 6-0 defeat in late January at home against these Buckeyes, 1-6. So they've really fallen off the face of the Big Ten picture, and now Ohio State is trying to, without, again, one of their best players, take care of a team that they, as you mentioned, handled in the regular season. Additionally, we should note that no Big Ten team since the quarterfinals began going to this best-of-3 format back in 2017 has won on the road in a best-of-3 series quarterfinal round. So, Jack, Penn State will definitely have their hands full despite the shorthanded Buckeyes. We'll see what happens tonight. It's going to be a great game.
Well, and Andrew, I mean, before we go, who is the guy that gets it going for Ohio State today on offense? Is it Quinn Preston, Westland, Jake Wise? You know one of those guys is planning on stepping up today. Who you got your eye on?
Well, I'm actually, you could sit here and say Georgi Merkulov, one of the best players in the country, a phenomenal freshman, the freshman from Russia. He's got 18 goals, 14 assists, 32 total points on the season. But I'm looking at his teammate on that third line for the Buckeyes, the left winger, Cam Thiesing, the 15th ranked nationally freshman in terms of total points scored on the season. He's from Nashville, Tennessee. He's also 11th nationally with 105 total shots. And I tell you what, Thiesing is going to have to rip that puck. Missing Mason Lowride tonight, the Buckeyes are going to need some more offensive output. This is a freshman, a young gun that's not afraid to shoot it, and the Buckeyes really need his offensive output here tonight.
They definitely do, and definitely a fun thing here. The freshman, senior, the veterans, yet the young guys that make up these teams. But we're getting ready for the national anthem here. Caleb Spinner and Andrew Conover will be on the call here. Thank you for listening to the Scarlet and Gray pregame show. Big Ten hockey coming up next.
It's tournament time on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. Tonight we have an entertaining one in Game 1, Round 1 of the 2022 Big Ten Men's Ice Hockey Tournament between two teams who are rivals on the ice, on the field, on the court, wherever they meet. It's the 4th seed, Ohio State, hosting the number 5 seed, Penn State. Here on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio, my name's Caleb Spinner alongside Andrew Conover here in Value City Arena, where we are ready for the 37th all-time meeting between the Buckeyes and the Nittany Lions.
Yeah, Ohio State 3-0-1 against the Nittany Lions this season. They're going to look to continue their solid play against this Penn State squad. Unfortunately, they will be without one of their best defensemen and also best offensive players in Mason Lowry tonight. He sustained a knee injury, as we mentioned in the pregame show against Minnesota. He is doubtful for this series. The Buckeyes just needing to scrape by tonight and survive until they can get one of the best young players in the country back for them.
Mason Lowry, only a freshman, certainly has made his name known among these Ohio State faithful. Top lines for both teams here. For the Penn State Nittany Lions, it's Kerwin, Schoen, and Wall going left wing, center, and right wing. Then for the defensemen, it's Pilowitz and DeNaples. And in between the pipes, it's Liam Soulier taking the start over Oscar Audio. The top line for the Buckeyes looks different on the forward side. It's Treelor, Westland, Preston going right, center, left. O'Connell and McWard will fill out the duo on defense, and Jakob Dobesh, the mainstay between the pipes for the Buckeyes. We're underway. Penn State off the face-off. They immediately send it through the neutral zone to Buckeye territory. They pick it up. Quick shot, pad flipper save from Jakob Dobesh. Already out of the gate are the Penn State Nittany Lions with a shot on. Quinn Preston flips the puck up from his own end into neutral zone, now to Penn State ice. Offsides was waved off, and they're eventually going to blow the whistle here, saying that it was indeed a violation. So Penn State already an electric start, taking a shot on Dobesh in the first few seconds of the opening period.
Yeah, absolutely. An early attack on that Buckeyes defense. Again, missing Mason Lowry, such a key player back there. They're going to look to survive the offensive onslaught from the Nittany Lions tonight.
Berger dumps it ahead to the neutral zone, where he is immediately checked from Eric Cooley. He's playing up for the Buckeyes. Puck sent in to the neutral zone from Jake Wise. Corralled in by McUrchin and the Nittany Lions. Played in the far side corner by the Penn State Nittany Lions. Up ahead now come the Buckeyes. On the near side, up the wall comes Grant Gabriel, who dumps it in. Soulier comes out from his goal to play it. Penn State will send it in. Berger goes right at it before he sends to the bench. A shot fired in half-heartedly against Dobesh. He gloves it with ease and sends it right back down to play. Penn State once again enters the Buckeye zone, but Ohio State corrals it back. They're going to play it up through no man's land. Penn State has it off the turnover for Ohio State. Regula is going to come back to play it. Sends it up through the zone to the point. Sent now from near to far side and chipped in to the neutral zone back into Penn State ice was Cam Thiesing off a backhand stick move. Here come the Buckeyes. Sadlocha had it on the far side. He got his first 2 goals of the season in the first series against Penn State here in the Value City Arena earlier this season. Shot ripped in. It was a glove save, but lost it did Dobesh on the corral, but the Buckeyes avoid danger. They get it back in their own end. Here comes Regula, skating up the ice on the near side wall. Dumps it into Soulier. He thinks about making the save, but it goes wide of the net. He has no need to. Puck sent up. Icing waved off as the Buckeyes play it on the near side. They send it up towards the center. Here comes Penn State. Dangling on the far side. It was against the Buckeyes, Patrick Guzzo. And the shot fired in. Play will stop as we had some late-minute physicality at the end of that one.
Yeah, expect that between these two sides. Rivals in almost every sport, like you mentioned earlier, Caleb. But good early work from Cam Thiesing, the phenomenal freshman for the Buckeyes from Nashville. He comes into this game 15th nationally in terms of all points per game by a freshman. And he really making an early impact here tonight.
Schoen and Westland meet for the face-off. Ohio State comes away with it. Preston up the near side. Dumps it into the Nittany Lions zone. Soulier went back to play it, had no need to as it sails around behind him to the far side. Buckeyes have it now at the far side point. Bringing it up to the far side slot is Quinn Preston to Westland, who backhands one in. Couldn't get through the Penn State defense. Now behind the net, it's Travis Treelor. Treelor led the Buckeyes in points as a freshman. The first time to do it since Ryan Driscoll. On the near side, Ward sends one in. Gets lost in traffic. can't get through to the net. And the Buckeyes will have to re-corral the puck as it skates into the neutral zone. Treelor dumps it in near side. Westland tried to get it to go, but it was Puckett for the Nittany Lions who disrupted the play. Westland had it, now to Naples back for Penn State. From near to far, here come the Nittany Lions skating up ahead. It was Berger who had it along the far side, stolen away by the Buckeyes. It's Michael Gildon causing trouble for Penn State. Lampa has it on the near side. Tied up in the corner, tries to flip it ahead. He does to Carson Dick. Now sent back towards the corner. Gildon playing it for Ohio State to Lampa, who sends it and clears the zone. Ohio State back to no man's land. They retreat to their own end with Grant Gabriel. Wise enters the zone on the near side, wraps it around the boards behind the goal. Soulier comes back, meets it halfway to stick it around to Sarlo. And then puck sent ahead and icing called.
Well, Caleb, it's interesting. Coming into this series, since the Big Ten adopted this best-of-3 format for the quarterfinal round back in 2017-2018 season, no team on the road has won that best-of-3 series, so it's going to be a tall task for the Nittany Lions here tonight. Good start. Both teams getting some action in their respective offensive zones.
Face-off coming from the far side dot. It's Penn State off the puck drop. Corralled back by Ohio State in their own end. Thiesing plays it up on the left side of the center red. The Buckeyes skating left to right on offense. Penn State going the opposite way. Singleton has it now in Penn State's end on the near side corner. Tied up and sent ahead by McMenamin. Penn State tried to avoid an icing, and they're going to say they did not avoid it enough, and they'll call it anyways. So already some back and forth action here. This has been a high-paced game to start off the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah, back and forth action. Fans love to see it. Both teams are getting some extended zone time in their respective offensive ends, so look for that to continue. Both sides looking to score early, take command, and then hopefully coast to a victory here.
Face-off coming from the near side dot this time. It's Janiev and Merkelov to do the honors. Ohio State with it as the puck sails through neutral zone back to the Buckeye end. No icing called as the Buckeyes had the Nittany Lions tap it up before they corral it. Thiesing had it, now lost it. Singleton dumps it ahead. Soulier gives it a love tap and tripped behind the goal. There's number 14, Ben Copeland. The Buckeyes had it in the slot on the far side before he was collided into as Patrick Guzzo. Trying to keep it here, puck skates into the glove of Liam Soulier, and he will stop play.
Yeah, interesting. Both teams kind of feeling it out, here to start. Not a lot of explosive moves into the neutral zone and into their respective offensive zones, but you can see the hesitancy in both teams early on to let any big shots rip and stuff like that. Both teams feeling each other out well.
Like the first round of a boxing match. Exactly feeling each other out. Puck in the near side corner, now in the slot. Ohio State playing it in the Penn State end. Shot fired in, blocked by the Penn State defense. Now to the far side corner. It's Charametta who has it. Now sent over to Gabriel. Sent one in again. Couldn't get past the blockers in front for Penn State. And the puck will skate harmlessly onto the stick of Ben Schoen, who gets nailed against the wall by Patrick Guzzo. Puck sails back to the Penn State end and now sent up through neutral ice. Corralled in Buckeye territory by Grant Gabriel. Buckeyes on the attack here. Up the far side, it's Treelor, who lost it on the other side of the blue line, had to come back for it, and then dumps it into the zone before making a change. Soulier came back. Now in the far side corner, Penn State has it, trying to clear the zone. They cannot. Singleton rips one in, chest save. Buckeyes keep it on the right side of the blue line. Westland brings it up along the near side wall, back to Regula. Now at the point sent in was the defenseman Will Rydell, and Ohio State unsuccessful on the attack as Penn State sends it up. Berger sends it in to the Buckeye zone before he heads over to the bench for a breather. Action going on behind Dobesh in the Buckeye net. Ohio State corrals it. Ohio State, this their third time meeting the Nittany Lions in the postseason. First time since 2019 where the Nittany Lions got the better of the Buckeyes. Up ahead, in towards Dobesh, a right flipper pad save. Jakob Dobesh, the freshman in the Montreal Canadiens program. Comes up big there for the Buckeyes. There again, too, off the shot from the point from Berger. Send in again. Ohio State corrals it. In their own end, it's Ryan O'Connell, the future Toronto Maple Leaf. And now here comes Ohio State playing without Mason Lohrei. O'Connell is sure to be getting some more minutes here than he's used to. See how he plays up here for Ohio State. Puck sails around the half wall. Gabriel corralled it, lost it in his own end. Copeland came up to pressure for Penn State. Puck in the air, glove down on the far side by Joe Dunlap next to the Penn State bench. Ohio State had it entering the zone, and Gilden lost it off his stick. DeNaples now on the near side for Penn State. He gets rocked into the plexiglass by Gilden. Dobesh made a glove save, thought he wanted to play it, and then as he saw the Penn State rush, decided to drop it and cover it up again, so we'll get a stoppage of play.
Well, it's an interesting adjustment made by the Ohio State Buckeyes. We've talked about it all broadcast long. Missing Mason Lohrei coming into this one. They moved Ryan O'Connell, like you mentioned, Caleb, up to that first-line defense alongside Cole McWard. So it'll be interesting to see how the Buckeyes are able to adjust as those minutes keep increasing throughout the night.
Penn State off the face-off. Shot sent into Dobesh. Chest save. On the near side wall now tied up. It's Sadlocha who had it tied up. Now to the far side. Penn State trying to free it is Ben Schoen and a couple other Navy jerseys over there. Thiesing ends up freeing it up for the Buckeyes. Sends it through the neutral zone into the Penn State end. Berger has it. He was chased by Sadlocha. Frees it up and sends it ahead to Schoen, who is now using Soulier as coverage before he brings it up the far side. Hiding from the Buckeyes behind his goaltender. He dumps it into the Buckeye zone from the neutral zone as he heads over to the bench. Up comes Will Rydell. Leading the charge for the Buckeyes. Sent one into Guzzo. Guzzo flipped it into the Penn State end off his stick. Eric Cooley tried to center one in front of Soulier. Couldn't get through. And now here come the Nittany Lions on the attack. They turn it over. In the neutral zone once again. Ohio State in control. Mark Cherametta had it, lost it. C.J. Regula recovered it for a moment. And the Penn State defense pressuring there. It's Kenny Johnson making Rydell uncomfortable. Now up the ice. Here comes Cherametta. Off a screen from Guzzo. Sent it in. Flipped it north of the net and Soulier. Ohio State lost it there. Penn State corralled it. They dump it towards Dobesh, who readied for the save but didn't need to. His defense picked it up. Puck sent end to end. Soulier will play it back. No icing called. Up the near side, sent in to no man's land. Now into the Buckeye end was Christian Sarlo. Puck ripped in towards Dobesh. Another save for the goaltender from Czech Republic. Another one sent towards Dobesh. This one goes wide to the right of Dobesh's perspective. Now up the near side, O'Connell sent ahead to Treelor down the far side wall, who sent it back. The Buckeyes were in the middle of the line change. No one back. Two fresh skaters here as a puck ripped in and a save and frozen puck from Dobesh as we got an extra hit and the plexiglass behind Dobesh's net.
Yeah, are you tired, Caleb? That was a lot of end-to-end hockey action right there. Both teams going back and forth. But if you look at the stats of this game so far, a 9-2 advantage for Penn State in the shots and a 6-1 edge in the faceoffs. It looks like they're dominating, but really it's been a back and forth game. Very neutral game so far.
Indeed it has. An even contest here, as one would expect from a 4 and 5 seed here in the Big Ten tournament. Up ahead come the Buckeyes off a faceoff in their own end. Wise had it, lost it, and we're going to get a call here for tripping as Connor McUrchin took the trip from Jake Wise, and we have our first penalty, our first power kill for the Nittany Lions.
Yeah, Jake Wise, completely accidental contact there. There was a little scrum of about 4 players on the right side of the ice, and Jake Wise finding himself at the wrong place at the wrong time, taking the penalty, and in a close, even, and neutral game, as we've mentioned before, Caleb, this power play is going to be essential for the Penn State Nittany Lions to try and capitalize early on here tonight.
It's a fine line to walk between getting into the skates with the stick in a legal matter versus illegal, and Jake Wise just on the wrong side of that one. Shot ripped in immediately from the far side point towards Dobesh. It's frozen, and then another shot sent in. Dobesh is going to cover that up to stop play inside his crease. We're getting quite a bit of jawing between these two teams as soon as the puck stops.
Well, record-wise, it's not a traditional 4-5 matchup, Caleb. If you look at the steep drop-off off the top four teams in the Big Ten standing, Penn State a little bit more of an underdog coming in, but they're seeming to thrive in that role right now.
You saw that, of course. Penn State 21 points, or 20 points rather, in the conference. Ohio State 41. So a big drop-off there between four. The final team to host was Ohio State with that 2-3-4 hosting in the Big Ten tournament, 5-6-7 playing at those home locations. Another shot and save from Jakub Dobesh there as we'll get another stoppage in play with 1:30 left on this power play. 2 shots to Penn State's 11 for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, and Jakub Dobesh, he stood his ground well back there, really making himself known in his crease. One of the best goalies in the country, final for the Mike Richter Award. Not just in NCAA D1 hockey, all of collegiate hockey as well. He's a top 11 goalie across the country, and he's showing it so far tonight.
Certainly one of the best freshman goaltenders in the nation, let alone out of all who play that position. Puck at the point now, rotated to the near side. A blocker save from Dobesh. Penn State gets it back. They send it from near to far. Going left to right, facing Dobesh from their view. Back up to the point on the far side, sent across to the near side here. Now played behind the boards. Rocked into the wall is Connor McMenamin as Penn State now in the slot on the far side. Shot dumped in. Blocker save coming from Dobesh. He's got some assistance down there from Ryan O'Connell, who's one of the 4 skaters out there for the Buckeyes on this 5-on-4 Penn State advantage. Another shot ripped in, goes wide of the net, rebound poked loose before Christian Sarlo could get his stick on it. Now Ohio State playing defense once again for another 44 minutes, down a man here because of this power play that Penn State is currently enjoying. No shots or no goals on it off a couple shots here. Another shot can't get through O'Connell, who heads over to the bench in noticeable pain here to the applause of the Ohio State faithful.
And that's a huge clearance right there. The Buckeyes getting fresh legs on the ice, crucial for any penalty kill.
20 seconds now left in the man advantage. Penn State running out of time to convert this. Ohio State getting closer to the penalty kill, something that Coach Rollick said would be a focus for the Buckeyes in this series. Shot can't get through the Buckeye defense from the far side. Back to the point for one more time with a man advantage. Sent in, chest save, and he's going to gobble it up, does Jakub Dobesh. Another stoppage. With 1 second left on the power play, it looks like Ohio State has killed their first time down a man.
Yeah, and it does look like that way, Caleb, but this can be a difficult period for some hockey teams. The transition between penalty kill and full strength, a lot of times you can see guys getting caught in the penalty box a second too long, leading to an odd man rush the other way. So the Buckeyes really do have to be careful approaching this shorthanded situation. Jake
Wise cocked and ready to bolt out of that penalty box, and indeed he does here as the penalty is successfully killed. Ohio State comes up big on special teams to start this game. Rocked into the wall is Kenny Johnson off a hit out of nowhere from Eric Cooley. Soulier plays it behind the net along the half wall back to the point, and Ohio State can't keep the puck in. They're going to have to regroup. Puck sent in. Would have been an offside, so Ohio State sends some men over to the bench. Now in close, Gildon, glove save. Covered up enough for Soulier to freeze time. He lost it out of his glove, and Gildon talking to the official. He and the Ohio State fans in attendance did not think that was enough time to cover to freeze.
Well, it certainly was. It not only was not enough time, in my opinion, to elicit the whistle from the referee, but it was also a little bit too far outside the crease to warrant a stoppage of play. But Michael Gildon, the man that was invited to the USA Summer Junior Showcase back in 2020, really a productive offensive stint right there.
Certainly has been an electric period here. Now at the under 8 media timeout, we'll step aside for just a moment. When we come back, some more electric action here in the Big Ten quarterfinal. Ohio State, Penn State, no score on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. The 37th matchup all time between Ohio State and Penn State comes here in round one of the Big Ten 2022 men's ice hockey tournament, where we have no score with 7:54 to go in the opening period in what has been an electric back and forth frame to open this series. Ohio State and Penn State to match up on that near side face-off dot. Shot sent in, glove save from Soulier, denies Rydell a goal.
Now Will Rydell, with Mason Lowry's absence, one of the guys that Coach Steve Rowland for the Buckeyes definitely needs to step up tonight, not only defensively, but as you saw right there, being aggressive from the point and taking those good slap shots.
Face-off coming now on the opposite side of the same end, now the far side dot in Penn State territory, as Merkelov will face off against Ben Copeland. The Buckeyes win it, keep it in the zone, does Thiesing. Now back behind Soulier's net. Sent ahead from Merkelov. Preston tried to convert and could not. Now in the near side corner, pinned against the wall by Thiesing, was the captain, Paul DeNaples. Soulier will play it behind the net, kick it up to the alternate, Adam Pilowitz, who sends it ahead. Dobesh now playing defense in his own zone as the Penn State attack comes. We have a hand up for a delayed penalty, it looks like. No, they're going to wave it off. Now sent ahead. Jake Wise to Dunlap. Dunlap tried to kick it back to Wise. Couldn't get it on his stick. Now back to the point it goes. Ryan O'Connell and Cole McWard playing it there. McWard flips it up, gets a little too excited and sends it into the netting.
Well, that is a difference, Caleb, in having someone like Mason Lowry at the point for if you're the Ohio State Buckeyes versus Cole McWard. This is not a dig at Cole McWard. You're talking about one of the best offensive defensemen in the entire country in Mason Lowry. You can see that shot just a little wild off the edge of the stick there, heading up into the netting.
McWard, 33 games played for the Buckeyes, 14 points through that stretch. Here as it's Wise and McEachern to do the honors of the face-off on the near side dot. Penn State wins it, chips it ahead. The Buckeyes head back to their own territory to corral the puck. Now they enter the Buckeye attacking zone and send one in. Glove save from Liam Soulier. Soulier was a surprise start over Oscar Audio, who has been the usual starter for Penn State, but Liam Soulier coming up big when the Penn State Nittany Lions need him to.
Yeah, absolutely, and they're going to need him to tonight. As we mentioned in the pregame show, 1-6 since that loss to the Buckeyes in late January back home in Pennsylvania, but this team needs to end their skid here tonight if they hope to advance in this Big Ten tournament.
Face off from the far side dot at 6:40 and counting down in the opening frame here. We're scoreless in Columbus. McWard in the neutral zone, tried to get it to O'Connell, lost it. Cherametta picks up the slack back in the Buckeye end, sends it across the ice from near side to far side to O'Connell, who immediately chips it back to Cherametta before he takes the bench. And now gloved in to the Ohio State attacking zone was number 10 Christian Sarlo, who no doubt is wide awake after that hit from Ryan O'Connell. And they're going to review this for a potential penalty against Ohio State. It would be the second power play of the opening frame for Penn State.
Yeah, and there was a big collision down there on the near side boards. Couldn't get a great look at it just because of our angle, but it does appear like there may be a penalty coming up for either roughing, it may be a high elbow that they're calling here. We'll have to wait and see, but it was a huge collision down in the Buckeyes' end of the ice. We'll see what results from it. But a lot better job that last offensive zone possession for the Buckeyes and really creating sustained opportunities on net. You got to challenge this goalkeeper, Soulier. You know, he hasn't been their regular guy in the net this season, and the Buckeyes have got to keep peppering him with loads of shots. They're currently losing the shot battle by a 13-6 margin. They're going to have to increase that if they want to have a chance against a Penn State side that has come out, Caleb, and really shown themselves to be a capable team here tonight.
This has been an entertaining matchup here so far. Ohio State, through the season, has gotten the better of the Nittany Lions more times than not, having 3 wins out of the 4 times they've played Penn State. The only time that the Buckeyes did not win officially went down as a tie, and then in the shootout, Penn State got the better of the Buckeyes able to seal the deal at Pagula Ice Arena on January 28th. But that still went down as a tie for Ohio State's record.
Yeah, and speaking of records, Coach Steve, Rolig squad still siege. We're getting the call here.
It is elbowing direct contact to the head for 24, Ryan O'Connell, who will head over for a 2-minute minor as Christian Sarlo heads back to the Penn State locker room.
Well, we kind of figured a penalty was going to be coming there for the Buckeyes, just didn't know what. It's going to be another costly penalty kill that they're going to have to try and survive, again without one of their top defensemen playing tonight.
Did it once before, but asking to do it twice against this Penn State squad is asking for trouble, and we're going to get a delayed penalty against Penn State and immediately even this up at a 4-on-4.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interference call coming up here. Impeded his movement away from the puck. Pretty clear call there. They're actually going to call it tripping just because I said that, I think. But the Buckeyes, regardless, get it back to even strength there. Not in the conventional way, but by making it a 4-on-4.
Ryan Kerwin to serve the time for Penn State, as we'll get a face-off in the Penn State end in the far side dot. Jake Wise lines up against Ben Schoen. The Buckeyes win the face-off, but the puck sails out past the stick of James Maroney, who will come back to play it for the Buckeyes. Kicks it to Grant Gabriel. Penn State intercepts it. They play it behind Dobesh in the goal, trying to get it back to the point. They do. Wrap it around the boards. Behind the goal line, now sent back the other way. Wise has it for the Buckeyes, using Dobesh as cover as he decides what to do with it, sitting behind his own goal. Now brings it up the near side, sends it across the ice to Quinn Preston, who played it up into the Ohio State attacking zone but lost it. Ohio State avoids danger as Regula comes up with it. Now Penn State the other way. Back and forth in the Buckeye zone here as we tick under 5:15 to go in the opening period. It's a scrum for the puck on the near side. Rydell comes away with it for the Buckeyes. And now Ohio State from the defense goes on the attack. Regula skates up the near side, had it, lost it. Ohio State wants a penalty off a stick that got into the skate of C.J. Regula and sort of tripped him up. Not enough as the last call that went against Kerwin and is the reason why he's in the box right now, but certainly enough to warrant a penalty, but the officials do not call it. Thiesing trying to bring it up out of the Ohio State zone. Regula lost it, jukes out a defender, as Penn State has been trying to pressure the Buckeyes in their own zone, taking after what Minnesota and Michigan have done to beat the Buckeyes in back-to-back series. Thiesing sends in a shot, goes wide of the net, bounces behind Soulier in the goal. Ohio State picks it up. They regroup in the neutral zone. McWard had it, lost it off the stick of a Penn State defender. Now Westland corrals it. Behind the back pass, McWard stairs! Went through, but just missed the net. And Soulier loses his bucket, as that was the closest opportunity Ohio State has had to breaking this one from even.
Yeah, it was almost like a mini breakaway there, a 2-on-1 situation for the Buckeyes. They couldn't capitalize, and the resulting was just chaos on this end of the ice. Soulier's mask fell off somehow. I'm not even sure how that happened. And there was a massive scrum after the play for the puck. It was blown dead by the officials, but that was a really productive short series for the Buckeyes offensively. You saw Cam Thiesing come down and rifle a shot. The Buckeyes are going to need that, losing so much production on the offensive side of the puck with Mason Lowrod.
Buckeyes were a few inches away from taking the lead here. And with 4:08 to go, we're back to even strength. 5-on-5, both penalties killed. Penn State still leads Ohio State 13-7 in the shot department while we have no score here. Treloar in the far side end gets double teamed by two Nittany Lion defenders but kicks it off to Tate Singleton. Now at the point, sent in was Ryan O'Connell. Singleton corrals it. Now Treloar battling for it behind the net. Back to O'Connell, who sends one into Singleton. Chest save from Liam Soulier. Ryan O'Connell back to Singleton. Tried to get the redirect from Travis Treloar in front. Could not convert. And now the puck sails down to the other end. Icing waved off. The officials are going to say it touched the Penn State Nittany Lions. Now up the ice come the Buckeyes. Grant Gabriel sends it ahead. Puck goes bouncing wide of Soulier. Now up into the air and into the netting as Cooley was ready to play it.
Yeah, Eric Cooley, the grad transfer, played his first 4 years at Niagara. Definitely given the Buckeyes some much-needed minutes on that fourth line, right winger. 4 goals this season, 5 assists, 9 total points. He's been productive that deep in the lineup. You're just looking for a guy that's scrappy and going to win you some loose pucks, maybe score every once in a while. He certainly played his role for Coach Steve Rowland this season.
No score with 3:14 to go in the opening period in Game 1 of the Big Ten quarterfinal between Ohio State and Penn State. Penn State sends the puck out of their zone. Ohio State corrals it in their own end. Sent ahead to Cooley, who brings it up for the Buckeyes. Now racing into the corner against Jimmy Dowd Jr. for Penn State. Nittany Lions clear it and dump it into the Ohio State territory before he gets rocked into the boards. We've seen a couple big hits like that already through this game. It was Tyler Puckett on the side of that hit. Cherametta with it for the Buckeyes. Sent in wide of the glove of Soulier. Now back up through the neutral zone. Buckeyes keep it alive. Dunlap with it. 1-on-2. He was on the wrong end of that as he had 2 defenders in front of him. And Dunlap is going to push into the net. Simon Mack from behind. No call there. As things are getting physical and rocked again into the glasses. Mack, this time from Camille Sadlocha. Physical action as of late, no calls resulting from it. CJ Regula sends it back behind the boards to the far side. Action going on behind the net. Away from the puck, Regula sent it, couldn't get it through the Penn State defense. Bodies in front to block that puck. Into the far side. Penn State gets it back. Berger sends it up ahead. It's Tyler Gratton who dumped it in to the Ohio State end. Dobesh came out from his net to play it. Penn State had it for a moment behind the goal, lost it. Loose puck behind the net in the Ohio State end. Merkulov battling for it for the Buckeyes, along with Schoen for Penn State. Penn State playing defense up into the Ohio State zone, not letting the Buckeyes breathe. Now Penn State on the attack. Shot saved from Dobash, but chipped up into the air. Penn State recovers. Now back at the point. Another shot sent in. Can't get through the Ohio State defense. Buckeyes play it up. They send it into the Buckeye zone. They're going to wave off the offside, so Preston is good to pursue. He tried to get it back to Merkulov off a loose puck. Couldn't get it. And then sent in was Ward before a line change here. Penn State corrals. Shot sent in. Save. It was Connor McEachern who sent it in towards Dobesh, who's equal to the task.
Yeah, Dobesh has definitely been the top player tonight so far for the Buckeyes, really holding his ground. You saw him that shot right there. You know, goalies have a difficult job as it is. It doesn't help that there's often traffic in front of the net. You saw Dobesh slide forward in his crease a little bit there, not only to cut down the angle, but to eliminate any distractions. Great save with the body.
Last time the Buckeyes played Penn State, it was at Pagula Ice Arena on Saturday, January 29th, a game in which Jakub Dobesh set a career-high 51 saves. He's got 15 tonight already through the opening period here with 28 seconds left. Cole McWard now bringing it up against a full-sheet Penn State defense. Dumped in. Soulier plays it behind his net. McMenamin had it for a minute, sent it up ahead to Johnson, who flips it up the sheet before sailing over to the bench for a change. Penn State attacking Ohio State, now set up the half wall. Come the Buckeyes. Westland had it. He was racing down the sheet against Berger, but Berger taps it up and will get an icing.
These end-of-period scenarios, Caleb, always tricky for both sides. Just 1.7 seconds left in this scoreless hockey game, but anything can happen off a face-off. Jakub Dobesh and that Buckeyes defense definitely going to be weary of a Penn State quick slap shot from the point.
Face-off here, as you mentioned, with under 2 seconds to go in the opening frame. Won't have much time left after a ceremonial puck drop. Puck is dropped, and there's the horn. We'll head to the first intermission with goose eggs on the scoreboard. Penn State nothing, Ohio State nothing. Here in the first round of the Big Ten tournament, you're listening to Men's College Hockey on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. We'll be back with you in a moment.
Welcome in to the first period intermission Scarlet and Gray recap show. Recapping the first period for you here, I'm Jack Murphy. Just got off the mic, Caleb Spinner and Andrew Conover. They'll be back in about 10 minutes to bring you the rest of this game. Second period coming up in a tie game here. Buckeyes 0, Nittany Lions 0. Great first period. Ohio State continues to struggle moving the puck and getting offensive possessions going as they have a couple tough turnovers. They're outshot by Penn State 15-8. And they lose the face-off battle 14-8. Penn State also blocking 4 more shots than Ohio State there. Really holding down the Ohio State offensive attack here as the Buckeyes kind of searching for answers here. They also had 2 penalties in the period. They had the first 2. First was to Jake Wise, a tripping, and then Brian O'Connell with an elbow about 13:44 into the period. Buckeyes able to survive both of those. Helped that Ryan Kerwin, freshman winger for the Nittany Lions, committed a penalty 8 seconds after Ryan O'Connell. So we had some 4-on-4 action there. But the Buckeyes going to look to turn things around here in the second period. A lot of action left, but Jakub Dobesh in the middle of one of his great games. He's already got 15 saves here. Freshman came in as one of the finalists for the goalie of the year in the NCAA. That is the Mike Richter Award. Goes in all divisions of collegiate hockey. He is one of the semifinalists for the award. He comes into this series leading the NCAA in saves with 961 and came in 5th in save percentage with a 93% save percentage. But to recap the other games here, as we are at the first period intermission in Columbus, in Ann Arbor, the number 2 seed Michigan Wolverines, they're the highest seed playing, as Minnesota, earning the bye, gets this quarterfinals series off. Michigan tied right now with the Spartans, 1-1 after 1 period. They're about to come out there in about the same amount of time as the Buckeyes, 6-7 minutes before they come back out. Michigan was down a 1-0 as the Spartans struck first. It was a power play goal by Dennis Cezanne, taking advantage of the penalty by the Wolverines. But then the Wolverines get it back with a power play goal of their own scored by Maddie Benners, number 10, one of their star players. It was a slow start for the Wolverines, but they took advantage of that power play. Got another one, but weren't able to take advantage. Michigan State came out really hot, but it's kind of slowed down a little bit. We'll see how that game goes, but the real interesting game taking place is in South Bend, Indiana, where at the end of 1 period, the Wisconsin Badgers, the 6th-ranked Badgers, leading the Notre Dame Fighting Irish 1-0. Goal came from number 19, Brent Caulfield. 2 shots in the period. He gets the 1 goal to fall. Badgers were outshot 20-11. But they have the 1 goal. Brock Caulfield assisted by Matthew D. St. Fall and Carson Bantle. Goalie for the Badgers, Jared Moe, with 20 saves in that first period, is going to have to keep playing lights out if the Badgers want to pull off that upset. But those are the scores in this tournament update here. Intermission Big Ten tournament update. Wolverines tied with the Spartans 1-1. Badgers have a 1-0 lead on the Fighting Irish. And we're scoreless in the Columbus as the Buckeyes and Nittany Lions are tied 0-0. But we will be back in about 5 minutes for this second period action. Caleb Spinner and Andrew Conover will have you here for Big Ten men's hockey tournament coverage on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio.
The Buckeyes and the Nittany Lions back out on the ice for the second frame here in Game 1 of the 2022 Big Ten quarterfinal. Ohio State and Penn State deadlocked at 0-0 in what is already shaping up to be a historic game between these two, one we're talking about for years to come. Ohio State and Penn State have met already 2 prior times in the postseason. The first one, March 19th, 2015. The 5-seed Buckeyes beat the 4th-seed Nittany Lions 3-1 at Joe Louis Arena in Detroit. This was back when the tournament was single elimination, so Ohio State moved on, and then most recently, March 17th, 2019, Penn State upset the 1-seeded Buckeyes in the Big Ten semifinal 5-1. As I said, no score here. Caleb Spinner, Andrew Conover here on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. This one should be an entertaining one if that first period is any indicator, Andrew.
Yeah, despite the stats being very favored for Penn State, almost doubling the Buckeyes up in both shots on goal and faceoffs won, this game was actually very, very neutral and even throughout almost the entire first period.
Ohio State on offense now going right to left off a win on the opening faceoff. Puck skates dangerously close to Soulier between the pipes for Penn State. He'll cover it up and freeze this for a quick stoppage of play only a few seconds into the period.
It'll be interesting to see, Caleb, off this faceoff. We've seen the Buckeyes all night long really struggle to keep the puck in the zone, kind of leading to their shot deficit right now. It'll be interesting to see how that point is functioning again without Mason Lowry. We just can't understate his loss enough for this Buckeyes team.
Ohio State has been in desperate need of some sustained offensive zone time going back to the February 11th and 12th series here against Minnesota, and continuing in their road trip to Ann Arbor to close out the regular season, still not being able to find that here through the first period and now into the second. Ohio State rips one in from the far side slot, goes wide of Soulier, rebounded by the Buckeyes here as Penn State is giving them trouble in their own end. Puck skates out of the zone and is touched up by Tate Singleton to force an offside.
One thing I took away, Caleb, from that first period of play is Penn State, totally different offensive strategy than the Buckeyes, who themselves like to really establish themselves in that offensive zone, camp out there, and look for the perfect shot. Penn State really taking advantage well of Ohio State's mistakes in that first period, transitioning well, and initiating quick counterattacks that caught the Buckeyes off guard.
Face-off here won by the Nittany Lions, now controlled by the Buckeyes. The last time these two teams met, it was at State College, Pennsylvania, where the Buckeyes came away 6-0 the victors against Penn State. So you knew the Nittany Lions were going to come out with a chip on their shoulder, and certainly something that you just talked about there that they certainly have. Centering pass intercepted by the Nittany Lions as Ohio State got probably their most time in the zone, on the offensive zone rather, of the game, and that one shot sent in from the far side by McEacher. Glove save from Dobesh, a routine save there. He's got 16.
Yeah, Dobesh, like we mentioned in that first period, definitely the player to watch so far tonight for the Buckeyes. He's really shut the door on any offensive chances Penn State has thrown his way so far. So Coach Steve Rohlik's team really leaning on their goalie here in the early going.
Talking about Steve Rohlik, head coach Guy Godowski of the Penn State Nittany Lions has a nickname for Coach Rohlik. He calls him just simply Raleigh. Face-off now coming from the far side dot. Won by the Buckeyes in their own end. It's Cam Thiesing leading the charge. He lost it onto the stick of Penn State's Jimmy Dowd Jr. Sent down to the Buckeye zone. Maroney sends it around the near side boards into the stick of Thiesing now along the near side. Skates to the center point and fires one in. Save from Liam Soulier. Soulier has 9. He's starting over Oscar Audio, the usual opening netminder for the Penn State Nittany Lions. They decided to go with number 2, and so far it's paid off for him.
Yeah, and it's been interesting. He's actually faced a lot of Cam Thiesing shots early on. Another one right there coming straight on in the slot, no more than 10 feet out. Good save there by Soulier, but Cam Thiesing, we mentioned in the pregame show, 105 shots coming into this contest. That's good for 11th nationally. He's a guy not afraid to rip it.
Penn State won the faceoff. They bring it up the neutral zone along the near side wall. And it's Puckett who sends it in behind the zone. Lampa had it. Shot ripped in. Dobesh save. Pilowitz had it. And corralled back to the point from Cherametta. Carson Dick sent one in. Corralled in by the Penn State Nittany Lions as Lampa gets checked into the boards. Now back to DeNaples at the point. Puckett now with it. He's checked into the glass by C.J. Regula. Battling for it on the ice, and they're going to get Regula for a penalty, retaliating against number 23, Tyler Puckett. And Puckett gives some words to Regula as Regula skates over to the penalty box.
Yeah, I think personally, Caleb, that penalty should have been on Puckett. He did initiate the initial contact there on that little scrum in the near boards on this far corner right here, but Puckett getting away with a crime there, so to speak, Caleb. I do believe he was the one that initiated the contact. He pulled the Buckeye Puckett down to the ground initially, and then Puckett did retaliate. They always say, you know, your mom always tells you, don't retaliate, and that's why right there the officials not seeing the initial contact, but getting Puckett on the second.
So Ohio State on the penalty kill for the third time this game. They were on it twice in the opening frame, and now with 17:46, they're going to be asked to do it again. Puck sails out of the zone after an opening shot from the Nittany Lions, as we now skate under minute 44 rather, to go in this penalty. Dobesh comes out, plays it, lost it off his stick into dangerous territory, and the Buckeyes will send it up the sheet to kill time. Back to corral it comes Paul DeNaples, the senior from Moscow, Pennsylvania. DeNaples bringing it up to the neutral zone. He dumps it back behind for his teammate to pick it up. It's Kevin Wall, the future Carolina Hurricane. Shot sent in from Kerwin on the near side. Dobash equal to the task. Pinned against the wall, and then the puck fired up to the direction of Soulier. As more time burns off, we go under a minute in the penalty.
Another important clearance. The Buckeyes getting those fresh legs on the ice, dealing with this Penn State counterattack.
Still no score, 16:46 to go in the second period. You're in game one of the Big Ten quarterfinals. Shot ripped in, almost went in off the bounce as it hit the glass and came dangerously close to skating in off the back of Jakob Dobash, but no luck for the Nittany Lions. This score remains at a double goose egg. To the near side now, McMenamin dumps it in for Schoen. Schoen dancing with Cooley, shot sent in from Dowd Jr. Penn State corrals it, Ben Schoen back to Dowd on the point. Sent over, fired in, pad save, and then gloved up by Jakob Dobash. His 18th save of the game.
Now we can't talk about him enough. Jakob Dobash, drafted by the Montreal Canadiens in the 5th round of the 2020 draft. He has had a phenomenal game tonight thus far, and he's had a phenomenal season for the Buckeyes. 10-2, is his record on the year. A 2.22 goals against average and a 9.33 save percentage. That's among the best in the country, and he's being recognized accordingly.
And as we mentioned in the first period, 51 saves. The last time he matched up against Penn State, shot ripped in from the point. Doesn't get past Dobash, the freshman out of Ostrava, Czech Republic. Puck back behind the goal. And corralled in by McMenamin as he'll head over to take a seat. Swap out for another skater for Penn State. Now has it from Gratton in the corner. Back to even strength are the Buckeyes at 5-on-5. As the puck is now loose in the neutral zone. Up ahead comes Wise. Shot sent in, saved, and flipped up over the net from Soulier, where Penn State corrals it. Liam Soulier flipped it up with his chest, and Ohio State couldn't get to the rebound. Lampa sent it in, deflected by McWard, who sends it up to Tate Singleton. Singleton enters the zone alongside Jake Wise. Shot sent in, lifted up off the stick of Liam Soulier. Another save for the Penn State netminder, and the puck will sail into the Penn State benches for a stoppage of play.
Yeah, Steve Rollins has definitely got to be happy with the play of the junior from West Lebanon, New Hampshire, Tate Singleton. Electric play in the offensive zone there. A really good toe drag move to get himself in the slot. Good rip on goal. Just didn't capitalize on the opportunity, but the Buckeyes will take those kind of shots all day long.
Indeed they will. They'll take quantity over quality right now to try to break this game open. Currently deadlocked at zeros with 15 and change to go in the second period. Puck sent up across the center red and then dumped into the zone by Travis Treelor. It went ahead to Westland, but we're going to have play blown dead here. It looked like they wanted to call icing, but that couldn't be the case because Treelor was on the right side of center red.
Yeah, I'm not sure what exactly is going on here. They are going to move the puck outside of the zone. May have been an offsides call there on that near sideline, but we've got live action again here.
Face off from the near side penalty dot on the left side of the center red. It's won by Penn State, who sends it up to the Ohio State territory, corralled in by Tate Singleton in his own end. Singleton collides aggressively with Dowd on the near side, right in front of the benches. They're still going at it as Ohio State recovers. Maroney sends it to the far side, tapped up by Gustav Westland to keep the puck alive in the Penn State end. Penn State corrals it off a turnover, and they're able to clear the zone. Now to neutral ice, dumped ahead from Dowd as he heads over to the bench. Gabriel tries to stick it with a backhand. Puck sent in front off the stick of Ben Copeland, trying to set up one of his teammates. Couldn't connect on it. Looked like he was looking for Ben Schoen, the top line centerman for Penn State tonight. Gabriel corrals it, and the Buckeyes break out of their zone. Heading up to Penn State territory, Gabriel brings it in, touches it up, and heads over to his bench. Penn State corrals it on the near side slot. Now sent up ahead across the center red. Back to Penn State territory, the Nittany Lions controlling it. Sent along the glass as he gets ripped into the boards once again was Adam Pilowitz. Back to Georgi Merkulov now in the Buckeye end. Georgi Merkulov, Big Ten leader in points with 37. Certainly been doing wonders, the freshman for the Buckeyes. Shot sent in. A dangerous rebound off a save from Soulier. Couldn't connect. Thiesing rips another one. No good. He hits the ice. The Buckeyes wanted a penalty. They did not get one for tripping. Another shot ripped in from the point. This one coming off C.J. Regula, who retreats back as Penn State sends it up the ice. Rydell now with it on the near side. Uses the glass to his advantage to get it up ahead to Merkulov, who lost it. Penn State corrals it to Connor McEachern. Buckeyes get it back in their own territory, bringing it up to Will Rydell, who tried to send it ahead to Eric Cooley. Couldn't connect with his twig. Now back along the far side, it's Penn State playing defense in their own zone. Sent up ahead, cross the blue line. O'Connell keeps it out of Ohio State territory as the Buckeyes bring it up again. It's Guzzo. He centers in front. It looked to be towards Cherameta. Couldn't get a stick on it. Now Penn State the other way. Puckett with a full head of steam. Back towards the near side wall. Centers it out at the point. He was looking for Lampa. Couldn't find him. Now Ohio State back the other way in transition. Cherameta enters the zone. Puck blown dead. It looks like they're going to get one of the Buckeyes who skated over to the bench for a line change with a penalty. Michael Gilden jumps off the wall. No, it won't be a penalty, but they'll say the violation occurred before the line change was made, so they'll send these two back out. Hard to tell what that means when an official just points to the Ohio State bench.
There's a lot of calls in hockey that are made by raising the hand. Let's just say that, and a lot of times it can get a little confusing out here.
Rocked into the boards was Dowd as he sends the puck ahead to one of his teammates down in the Buckeye end. It was Grattan. Couldn't get a stick on it. Dowd now playing it at the slot. Braces for a hit and takes one from Michael Gildon. Keeps the puck alive for Penn State. Janiev sends one in. Backhand shot, no good. From 2 feet outside the crease. Dobesh comes up big in the Buckeyes end. Now up ahead. Dunlap skating 2-on-2. Back to Jake Wise, who was tripped up, but not enough for a foul by Danny Janiev. Here comes Penn State again. Janiev sends one to the far side, broken up by the Buckeye defense. Dunlap flips it up to the direction of Wise, who can't control it before Simon Mack of the Penn State Nittany Lions gets a hold of it. Now Wall up the side, and we're going to get an icing call to stop the play. Dobesh, a big save in traffic.
You mentioned it, Caleb. Jakob Dobesh, one of the biggest keys to seeing if a goaltender can play at the next level or not is range across the crease and how quickly a goalie can range across the crease. Jakob Dobesh put it on display right there. A beautiful right pad save at a crucial moment in this game, about halfway through this second period. This is a tipping point. It could go either way in this deadlock contest. We'll see what happens from here. It's going to be fun to watch, Caleb, going forward.
Still no score. 11:21 to go in the second period here in the first game of the 2022 Big Ten quarterfinal between the Penn State Nittany Lions and the Ohio State Buckeyes. Off the face-off, shot sent in towards Soulier. Couldn't get through in a threatening manner. It just bounces off the goalie's pads. Now sent ahead to the slot. Broken free on the Nittany Lions. They tried to. Ohio State keeps it in the zone somehow. Centered up ahead. Couldn't get through traffic. The Penn State Nittany Lions come up big here, defending in their own zone. Now they break out through the center zone. Sent up. Dobesh is going to glove it and freeze again. Both goaltenders have been taking advantage of that glove and cover move to try to slow this one down.
And not just in their own crease, Caleb, really being aggressive, taking the defense to their opponents in front of their own net, really coming out aggressively and claiming pucks that not every goalie in NCAA Division I hockey is going to be able to do. So Jakub Dobesh, on the other side, Soulier, doing a great job for both their respective sides and keeping this game deadlocked.
Dobesh recently named a semifinalist for the Mike Richter Award, given to the best goaltender in Division I hockey across the nation. Certainly making waves in his freshman season at Ohio State. Up the near side wall comes Penn State. They lose it. McEachern has it now on the near side. Shot save and sticked away by Jakub Dobesh. Penn State behind Dobesh in the net. It was 19 McEachern. Sent wide of the net, bounces into the netting behind. McEachern went around for the wrap, tried to get a Michigan to go, could not. Cole McWard now corrals it for the Buckeyes. Line change for Penn State as McWard sails from right to left and dumps it into the Penn State zone. Sticked down before it can go icing by Dowd. Picked up again in the neutral ice by James Maroney, who waits for Preston to exit the zone before he enters. Cherametta had it. Preston had it. Nothing in front to come of it as Ohio State back to the point with James Maroney. Sent it in, ripped behind the boards, going left to right behind Soulier. Now on the far side. Ripped in, fanned on it, did Grant Gabriel, and now here come the Nittany Lions. On the prowl, up through the center ice, lost it off the stick, and off his skate did Carson Dick. And now here come the Buckeyes. Up the near side wall, dumped in. It was Cherametta who sent it ahead for Eric Cooley. Those two couldn't connect. Now goes to Guzzo on the far side. Back at the point on the left side of the blue paint for the Buckeyes, trying to keep it alive in their attacking zone. They dump it deeper into Penn State territory as the Nittany Lions corral it, use the half wall to send it up to the slot. Couldn't get it to the point as Ohio State playing tight defense here when they don't have the puck. Getting some sustained offensive zone time. Another shot, another save for Soulier. Soulier has 17 saves now for Penn State as the puck sails across the neutral zone back to Buckeye ice. Gabriel now taking a moment in his own end along the near side. Sends one up past Guzzo, past Sadlocha, and sticked up by Soulier. He sends it ahead. Gabriel corrals it. Now it's Dunlap at the center logo. He lost it to Ben Schoen in the Nittany Lions. Schoen, the top line centerman, dancing with it now in Ohio State zone. Shot goes off the pad of Jakub Dobesh, goes into prime scoring territory for Penn State, but the Ohio State defense beats the Nittany Lions to the rebound. Puck sails down the sheet towards Soulier, who backhands it into the stick of his own teammate, Pilowitz, who sends one in from the near side, goes into the netting from that mid-slot point, and we're going to get a timeout here as we go under the 8-minute media timeout. Electric action, just as we saw in the first period, carrying over here into the second. No score with 8:11 to go in Game 1 of the Big Ten quarterfinal here on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. We've got the remainder of this and one more here. We'll come back at 0-0 on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. Back in action here at Value City Arena in Columbus for Game 1 of the Big Ten quarterfinal between Ohio State and Penn State. No score here as we go under 8 minutes to go in the second frame. The Buckeyes had some sustained offensive zone time before Penn State came knocking on the door before we went to that media timeout. And now the Buckeyes control it. Westland across the center red, dancing through traffic. And we're going to get a whistle from the linesman to stop play again.
That was the ultimate two-way hustle play right there, Caleb. Gustav Westland, the captain of this Buckeyes squad from Sweden, the senior, one of the more productive players and veteran players on this Ohio State side. He has 70 career points for the Buckeyes, and they're definitely going to need him to step up down the later stretches of this game as that missing presence of Mason Lowry, Caleb, is starting to be felt more and more as this game remains deadlocked.
Face off between Carson Dick and Georgi Merkulov ends up sailing back to Jakob Dobesh. Knocked down, almost falling over his goaltender, was Grant Gabriel after he was shoved by Lampa. Xander Lampa there getting into a talking to from the official as this game gets more and more physical.
Yeah, we've seen it all night long. The big heads coming left and right, bodies all over the ice, dropping like flies. And Caleb, I don't think it's a question anymore whether these two sides like each other or not. They are definitely trying to win this game and trying to do so, and not only win, but beat their opponent tonight.
Most games in the postseason become more heated than their regular season counterparts. These two teams have played each other 4 times previously. Ohio State has won 3 and only tied the other one. It was a shootout win for Penn State, followed by a 6-0 win for the Buckeyes in Pagula Ice Arena at State College, Pennsylvania, the last time these two teams were out. Shot sent in from the near side to Schoen, save. Another shot, this time from Kevin Wall, denied again. Jakob Dobesh, 2 more saves, a third off the stick from Kevin Wall. 3 shots in close for Penn State, all denied. That's certainly becoming one for the ages as we remain deadlocked with 6:52. Down at the point, send it over to Berger, who sticked it behind the goal line to Lamp on the far side. Wall tries a wraparound, denied. Jakob Dobesh comes up big there as the Buckeyes sent the puck ahead into Penn State territory and execute a line change. 5 new skaters out for the Buckeyes as Ohio State was caught off guard as Penn State came up. Lampa rushed it. Couldn't get the shot when Dobesh was out of place. Goaltender returns as the puck will sail out of Ohio State's end. Buckeyes trying to enter their attacking zone. They could not. Puck comes back. Dobesh raises his glove hand and is granted the icing.
Now, not only is he raising his hand up in the air, Jakob Dobesh is single-handedly keeping this Buckeyes squad in this game. We've seen the shots get a little bit more even as we get into the later stages of this second period. Caleb, only a 7-shot differential now for the Buckeyes at 24-17, but Jakob Dobesh moving those legs well, pushing off that back foot, textbook goalkeeping, getting across his crease, and making a couple big kick saves for the Buckeyes.
That number's certainly a lot closer than it was at 13-2 at one point in favor of the Nittany Lions. Buckeyes fighting back in that stat category. Shot sent in, a wide open look from Tyler Gratton, sticked away by Jakob Dobesh. Wise up the ice towards the center slot. Sent in. Save from Liam Soulier. Puck sent down the ice. Dobesh will play it. No icing called. Glove down off some hops from Danny Janiev as he sends one in. And Dobesh gloves it in. Took it to the chest, dropped his mitt. And another save for the goalie from Ostrava Czech Republic. He's got 25.
And for all the young goalkeepers tuning in to our coverage of this game, you couldn't see it, but Jakob Dobesh, right after he made that save and was trying to gather that puck, just pushed off his back skate and got himself out of the crease. That's a classic goaltender move to avoid dropping the puck right in front of enemy territory and lead to an easy goal. So great play, great veteran play by the young goalie, Jakob Dobesh for the Buckeyes.
Scoreless here at 5:36, and we have a whistle immediately after the faceoff. Patrick Guzzo skating over to the linesman to ask for some clarification.
Yeah, a lot of times players just get frustrated when the puck isn't dropped. Even if they lose the faceoff, having to redo the entire draw really frustrates a lot of players and is clearly getting on the nerves of the Buckeyes out there right now on the ice.
Yeah, we've seen the flow that this game has had. It's been back and forth for the majority. And to see it broken up with a face-off almost seems like a sin at this point.
And they're still talking out there. I'm not sure really what's being discussed at this point. Maybe the ref warning both players for illegal motion, and he's still talking to them as we get back underway here.
Puck is dropped, and we are underway again with 5:33 to go in the second period. Ohio State won the face-off, sent in, shot ripped from the far side. Glove save from Jakub Dobesh, and we'll get another face-off in Ohio State's end.
Jakub Dobesh strong with that left-handed glove right there, making sure there is no rebound for Penn State to collapse in on. And he is really playing an absolute gem of a hockey game so far for Steve Rohlik's side. He's got 27 saves on 27 shots, and he's really played strong back there when the Buckeyes have needed it most.
A little over halfway to the number he had the last time he played Penn State of 51, which at the time was a new career high. It was his third game in a row breaking a career high in that stat. Going back to the two games at Michigan State, a shot sent from Tate Singleton in the Penn State end. It's a glove save from Soulier, and we get some extracurriculars after the play.
Yeah, and you've consistently mentioned it all broadcast long, Caleb, the extracurriculars after the play happening then once again there. We've seen it in different forms tonight. There's been two-handed cross-checks to the back when the refs aren't looking. A little tap on the ankle there we saw from one of the Penn State players in that scrum on the ankle of an Ohio State player. So it's coming in different forms, but these two teams clearly trying to win at their highest level right now out there. The competition is fierce, and the jarring outside of the hockey being played is even fiercer.
Ryan O'Connell sent in north of Soulier in the net. Had the right aim, just went a bit high. Shot sent in from inside the crease from Tate Singleton, can't go. Best look Ohio State has had all day, coming off number 13. A shot in, attacking was Kevin Wall, denied by Dobesh. Two great looks, one per each team, both denied by the respective tendies. Puck sails ahead on the near side. Ripped in from the point for Rydell. Back to Rydell at the point as Ohio State executes a shift change. Preston now back to Gustav Westland. Save off the stick of Liam Soulier. Back behind the goal, Ohio State trying to fight for it. They do. Gustav Westland back around the boards to Thiesing, who races forward against Schoen. He beats him to it, but Schoen puts a stick on it. And Ohio State has to reconnect in the neutral zone before they back enter the zone. Regula now back in Ohio State territory. He's looking up the ice, fires it ahead to Merkulov. Merkulov, a one-on-one, he scores! Ohio State breaks it open. Who else? Georgi Merkulov.
Well, Caleb, the fans finally getting on their feet here at the Schottenstein Center, the hometown team, finally giving them something to cheer about. Georgi Merkulov, one of the most prolific players, not only among freshmen in the country, but in every year level in the country as well. He leads the team in both goals and points with 18 and 32 respectively. He also leads the Big Ten in goals, so this is really one of the premier players, and not just the Ohio State Buckeyes team, in the Big Ten Conference and nationally as well. And he just
Wise back to it. In the neutral zone, it's Penn State. Sent up ahead to Dobesh. Goes wide of his net. Marooney taps it ahead on the near side. Jake Wise up center red, dumps it into the zone. Sadlocha watches it from the point as he heads over to a bench. He keeps it in. Cooley, he centered it for, Sadlocha did. Unable to get the stick on it. Now pinned in the near side corner. 1-0 Ohio State. 3:07 to go in the second frame. Here in game one of the Big Ten quarterfinal in Columbus. Georgi Merkulov opened it up just moments ago with a score on Liam Soulier. A netminder for Penn State. Up ahead, Ohio State trying to break out again. It's Guzzo who goes from right to left. Set it, score! He went 5-hole! 2-0 Ohio State.
Well, Caleb, the floodgates are opening here in Columbus after being deadlocked for so long in this game. The Buckeyes finding Twine through the 5-hole of Soulier, and this Penn State defense has slowly but surely been broken down by this sustained Ohio State attack we've seen in this second period. Totally different than the first period where they weren't able to keep the puck in the zone. They've really generated great scoring chances all period long, and it is paying them big dividends now, as we see on the scoreboard.
Sustained offensive zone time, something that has eluded the Buckeyes since that February 11th game against Minnesota, and then proceeded to follow them to Ann Arbor, has gone no more as Ohio State breaks this open at 2-0 here in the closing minutes of the second frame. Penn State now with it on the point, ripped in, and another save.
Yeah, Dobesh standing tall once again with that left-handed glove. He guides it so well into the glove. You see a lot of young goalies, especially in college, wait for the puck to come to them. Dobesh is always extending his arm out and meeting the puck at its closest point, and that's just the mark of a veteran goalie, despite him only being a freshman, Caleb.
It's like in basketball, you don't wait for the pass to come to you, you go to it. Same in hockey. Don't wait for the puck to come to your glove, bring your glove to the puck. Freed up now along the far side, Ohio State skating ahead. Across the center red, into Penn State territory. They send it over from left to right. Shot ripped in, saved by Liam Soulier as Penn State now on the attack. They're trying to break into that 2-goal deficit. They've now found themselves down in a sudden fashion as Ohio State has taken advantage of a tired Penn State defense. Penn State backhands it in from Ryan Kerwin. Maroney plays it behind the net, uses the half wall. Kerwin had it, lost it, as Quinn Preston skates up with it. Now to Merkulov again, who had the goal that opened the scoring in this game. Now back to the goal line is James Maroney. Sticks flicking at the puck towards the crease. Saves from Soulier, deny the Buckeyes.
I think unfortunately right now for the Penn State defense, they're just letting far too many people way too close to Soulier, getting uncontested shots of the Buckeyes right in the slot, no more than 5 to 6 feet out. And those are opportunities that most collegiate hockey players will bury if you give them enough chances, and the Buckeyes certainly generating them in this second period.
A minute 32 left before the second intermission. Ohio State up 2-0 on Penn State in game 1 of the Big Ten quarterfinal. O'Connell now with it behind Dobesh in the goal. Ahead to Wise on the near side. Goes left to right to the far side with Cole McWard, who wraps it around the boards behind Soulier. McWard rips it in from the point, goes wide of the net. Rebound goes back along the near side. Penn State trying to break out as we enter a minute left in the period. Dobesh corrals the garbage behind the net and rips it ahead down the sheet. We're going to get an icing call here as Paul DeNaples touches it up for the Nittany Lions.
How about Cole McWard there on that last offensive series for the Buckeyes? The young freshman stepping up to the first line defense with the absence of Mason Lowry like we've talked about all night, Caleb, but he ripped a great wrister right there, moving from left to right across the offensive zone, and the Buckeyes are certainly happy to see that offensive production coming from somewhere they didn't expect it to in Cole McWard.
Face-off in the Buckeyes' end at the far side dot. Now towards the benches of Ohio State on the far side. Loose puck now. Ohio State corrals it off Ryan O'Connell. They stick it into the Penn State zone where the Nittany Lions corral it. They send it up the sheet through the neutral zone into the Ohio State territory. Dobesh comes out to play it. He was pressured from behind by Tyler Gratton as Penn State corrals it in no man's land. 21 seconds left. Dobesh came up, had it between his legs. Puck squirted out. And luckily for Ohio State fans, Dobesh was able to glove it before any damage could be done.
I can't hear him speaking right now, Dobesh, but I know what he just said. He said whoops. If you watch that happen for Jakub Dobesh in goal, the shot he saved initially, it seemed to get loose. He saw it visibly. You could see him feel it come loose from his body, and he just peeked behind himself and saw the puck sitting there freely. Luckily for the Buckeyes, he was able to quickly cover up before Penn State could bury it to make this a one-goal game.
19.3 ticks left in the second frame. Ohio State leads Penn State 2-0 here at Value City Arena. Cherameta tried to clear it for the Buckeyes out of their zone, but Penn State able to keep it alive. Now in the near side corner, puck sent over to the left and far side. Spinning around and trying to center it was Dowd. Now goes to the neutral zone, and there's the horn. Will end the second period. Ohio State, 2 goals within quick succession of each other. They have the lead as we enter the final intermission in game 1 of the Big Ten quarterfinal. Ohio State ahead 2-0. You're listening to men's college hockey on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio.
We are back here in the Schottenstein Center after another great period of Big Ten hockey here. You're listening to the 2022 Big Ten Men's Hockey Tournament on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. I'm Jack Murphy. I'm here for the Scarlet and Gray second intermission report here. As for the first 36 minutes, we were scoreless and in the middle of a great game. Still got a really great game going here despite Ohio State taking a 2-0 lead here on the Nittany Lions. It did not look like the Buckeyes were going to put any type of lead on the Nittany Lions in that second period here. The Buckeyes get 2 goals in 73 seconds with 16 minutes in. Georgi Merkaloff gets the scoring going off the assist from CJ Regula. Beautiful long pass from Regula. Merkaloff makes the move and finishes it home on the Penn State goalie, Liam Soler. And then a minute later, we got Patrick Guzzo on the attack. Rips a shot. Eric Cooley, the grad from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, gets his stick in there, redirects it for his own goal of this game, giving Ohio State 2 of them in the period, and they're able to jump up 2-0. But the Buckeyes were struggling here. For the most of the period, they were out shooting Penn State, and then about 12 minutes in, there was a penalty, and Penn State just had about 5 or 6 shots in a row. They ended up out shooting Ohio State again, this time not as bad as the first period. It was a 15-8 first period shot advantage in favor of the Nittany Lions. The second period goes 17-14 in favor of the Nittany Lions, but the Buckeyes much more in control of their offense in this second period, especially those first 10 minutes. They slowed down for a little bit.
You want more of this?
And then were able to regain themselves and get the 2 quick goals. But Jakub Dobiš is in the middle of one of his fantastic games. He's got 32 saves in 40 minutes of action. And Penn State it was kind of a little back and forth. Neither team was really making moves on offense as Ohio State was struggling, settling down, and getting better looks. But neither team looked like they were about to hammer a goal home. It was good defensive battle. And then the Ryan O'Connell, CJ Regula, he was the penalty in the second period that allowed Penn State to get about 6 shots off in the 2-minute span. Some real close calls, but Jakub Dobiš has been all over it, making big saves on that penalty kill. And then there's about 7 minutes to go in the period. There was a great setup to Cole McWard, but he lost handle of the puck. Penn State got a 2-on-1 break, and it was led by their front line of number 12, Ben Schuon, number 21, Kevin Wall, the Carolina Hurricanes draft pick, and Ryan Kerwin, the freshman stud from DeWitt, New York, number 11. They were running that break and got about 4 really high-quality shots on Dobiš, span of about a minute, and none of them fell, as Dobiš just kept making great save after great save to survive that penalty kill. And then Ohio State's offense finally gets things going here with the 2 goals. As we said, Georgi Merkaloff leading Big Ten scorer with his 19th goal. Then Eric Cooley, the senior, getting his 5th assist from CJ Regula. Patrick Guzzo and Cole McWard also assisting on the Eric Cooley goal. But then a little update here as Michigan and Michigan State are at the end of 2 periods as well. Not much new news there, even though Michigan has jumped up 3-1 now. They've come back after that really slow start. We're down 1-0 for a lot of first period. Got a power play goal from Matty Bainers to match the Dennis Cezina goal by the Spartans. But then Michigan has just looked like themselves here, out shooting the Spartans by a lot more in the second period than they did in the first period. Luke Morgan and Luke Hughes tally on 2 goals Wolverines look to be back in control of that game here in game 1 of that series. But what's getting interesting is the Wisconsin-Notre Dame game in South Bend. Despite being outshot by 15 shots, the Wisconsin Badgers are up 2-1 here. They were up 1-0 after the period due to a Brock Caulfield goal. Caulfield having a fantastic game, 13 for 21 on faceoffs to go along with that goal. Dominic Mersch put another one in the second period. It was from Corson Ceulemans, the first-round pick by the Columbus Blue Jackets. We saw him here a couple weeks ago in Columbus for his games with the Buckeyes. Quite a talented player, making his mark felt today. Sets up Mersch. Mersch buries it to get another goal here. Notre Dame did tie it. It was Graham Slaggert, the senior, on the setup from Ryan Rolston. He tied things up here at 1 on a power play goal. But then the Badgers get another even strength goal from Dominic Mersch to go up 2-1 here. Only 20 shots on the Notre Dame goalie, Matthew Galata, a grad student from Aurora, Ontario. But he has definitely struggled today, not his usual self. Jared Moe in the middle of a great game. 35 saves on 36 shots. But that's how things are looking here on day 1 of this Big Ten men's hockey tournament, As the Buckeyes looking to take control of this series. They go up 1-0. They're up 2-0 on the Nittany Lions. Michigan looking to do the same thing here, up 3-1. And then Notre Dame, the only high seed, losing. Down 1 to the Badgers. They will look to stage a comeback here in the third period. But the Buckeyes are getting ready to return here for this third period. Caleb Spinner and Andrew Conover will be on the call for this final period. Thank you for listening to Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio's coverage of the 2022 Men's Big Ten Hockey Tournament. You're listening to Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. We'll be back in about a couple minutes with third period action.
"20 minutes left in what has been an electric opening to the 2022 Big Ten quarterfinal between the Ohio State Buckeyes and the Penn State Nittany Lions, the 4th and 5th seeds in this tournament respectively. It's 2-0 Ohio State leading here at Value City Arena in Columbus, Ohio. Alongside Andrew Conover, I'm Caleb Spinner, here with one more period to go as Ohio State broke things open in the second period with 2 goals in quick succession, looking to ride that momentum into this final frame. Face-off won by Ohio State. Cole McWard corrals it on the neutral side of the blue line on the left side. Buckeyes going left to right on offense. In the near side, Penn State controlling it in their own zone. Ben Schoen dancing up now, passes it to the near side to Wall, who tried to send it into Ohio State territory, was picked off by Westland, the Ohio State captain, who sends it ahead, and we're going to get a whistle blown. It appeared to be an offsides violation against Ohio State.
Yeah, and despite getting outshot through the first 2 periods, the Buckeyes, Caleb, in my opinion, are generating more chances. They've had that extended zone time. We've talked about how crucial that is for this team all night long, and they're really making Penn State pay for giving them so much time in their own defensive zone.
The Buckeyes haven't had enough or a lot of sustained offensive zone time dating back to the last 4 games, going back to that February 11th game here against Minnesota, as we'll get a frozen puck off an icing here. But something that eluded them so far through the regular season, those final 4 games, and now they've seemed to have found it in the opening round of the postseason.
And you mentioned those final 4 games, all losses for the Buckeyes, so really looking to stop a skid and get a big, big win tonight Obviously, it's big because it's the Big Ten Conference Tournament, but if you look further ahead into March for this team, as they get deeper into their postseason, they're going to need some confidence behind them. And this game is exactly that for the Buckeyes. It could be that exactly that if they continue to play the way they have through that second period.
Face off in the Penn State end at the far side. Now sent ahead, goes past Gabriel. Maroney will corral it for the Buckeyes. He gets rocked into the wall by a Penn State defender. Looks to be Connor McEachern. As the Buckeyes play it behind the net. Dobesh between the pipes for the Buckeyes. He's got 32 saves, hasn't let one in off the Penn State chance. And man, they've had several great looks, the Nittany Lions have. Wise up ahead through the neutral zone. Dumps it in to Penn State territory. Corralling it back is McEachern. He sends it ahead through the neutral zone. Now to Regula on the near side, who just sends one in, goes wide of the net, and he is smashed into the glass as well by Tyler Gratton. It's been a physical game, too, even minus those 2 goals from Ohio State in the second period, and physical. Penn State now on the attack. In the far side corner, tied up with Cam Thiesing is Ben Copeland. Shot skates wide of Dobesh. Buckeyes playing it behind the goal line along the boards. Sent up ahead to the near side. Quinn Preston skates into Penn State ice. Back to Georgi Merkulov. He had the first goal that opened this game up for Penn State, or for Ohio State rather, as Penn State shoves Cam Thiesing from behind. It was Dowd on the hit, goes uncalled, as the Nittany Lions now in possession of the puck at the Ohio State end, now sent up ahead. Preston touches it up. 1-0, he scores! 1-0 chance for Quinn Preston, converts. 3-0 Ohio State.
Well, we've seen it all night long, Caleb. The Buckeyes have been getting beat on the transition game very quickly, but so have Penn State, and right there they get burned backside. A lovely long pass deep from the Buckeyes' own defensive zone, finds a cutting Quinn Preston, recently promoted to that first line, the alternate captain, buries it without a shred of a doubt, and the Buckeyes extend this to a 3-goal lead. Now Penn State is in pure desperation mode, Caleb.
A shot immediately after the face-off win from Penn State. Couldn't get through Jakob Dobesh. He comes up with another save as they're announcing the goal from Quinn Preston over the loudspeaker. And this game has certainly come alive for the Buckeyes over the last few minutes going back into the second period. It was an even first period, and you thought going into an intermission at 0-0 was recompense for a 6-0 game in favor of Ohio State the last time these two teams played, and now you're starting to see Ohio State run away with this. A centering shot goes off the skate of Maroney. Buckeyes trying to corral it in front. It's a loose puck. Soulier has his stick on it. Puck skates free of the goaltender's grasp. Goes back to Gabriel at the point. Now sends it in behind the goal line. Dobesh is pulled. And it looked to be because of a delayed penalty as Penn State touches up and we get a whistle from the official.
Yeah, well, Quinn Preston for the Buckeyes did the finishing on last score for Ohio State, making this game a 3-0 lead in favor of the Buckeyes. But Cam Thiesing, we've talked about him all night long, the young freshman. He's really been dynamic on both ends of the ice. He was the one who threaded that pass through to Quinn Preston to give him that open breakaway. And this Buckeyes team is clicking on all cylinders right now. And Penn State really needs to turn it into another gear if they want to come back from this 3-goal deficit.
Ohio State now on the power play for the first time since 13:44 in the first period, or since 13:52 in the first period, rather, as Adam Pilowitz heads to the box off a roughing call, 2-minute minor penalty there. Now at the point, Merkulov sends it over to Jake Wise, rips it in, went off the skate of Soulier, net comes free. We're going to get a stoppage here. Almost looked like Wise's shot from the point. He's going to argue it. It hit the bottom of the ice and went up. Officials have to take another look at this. That looked good. You saw Westland arguing that exact same fact after the play.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that one. It did look like that puck went in the net, but they are moving the faceoff outside the zone. Interesting decision here by the referees.
So no explanation will come to us or the fans in attendance here as we get back underway. Merkelov now in the near side. Thiesing rips it around near to far, going right to left. Saved at the point is Jake Wise. Now inside behind the goal to Thiesing. Back to Gabriel. Checked against the glass by McEachern. Merkelov now with it. Across the point to Jake Wise. Merkelov rips it, breaks his twig, heads over to the bench for a replacement. You could tell that slapper had some force on it as it breaks Merkelov's stick in half as he goes to rip it.
Now the Buckeyes really experiencing some great zone time right now offensively, really keeping the puck in a lot better than they did in those earlier periods.
Preston sails up the near side, pulls back, connects with Treelor, who then fires back to the point for McWard. McWard goes from right to left to Rydell, who sends it in to the near side with Treelor. Treelor sent it in initially for Gildon, now gets it back at the near side, sends it to Gildon at the goal line. Now back to Rydell, who sends one top of the net. Buckeyes corral the rebound. Preston sends it, and he goes wide of his pass to McWard. Skates out of the zone. Treelor sends it into Preston, but unable to hold it for long is Quinn Preston, as Berger flicks it ahead for the Penn State Nittany Lions. 15:23 left to go in this game. Ohio State student section chanting stick as the remnants of Merkelov's twig remain on the ice in the Penn State defensive end. Rydell sends a shot in, and before Treelor can get his stick on the rebound, the puck is covered by Liam Soulier.
I thought they were going to be chanting stick for a lot longer than they were there, Caleb. We've seen back and forth action all night long, both ends of the ice, getting a lot of shots. 33-28 right now, that Penn State advantage in shots. It really doesn't matter, though. Ohio State has been the better team capitalizing on those shots as they are up 3-0 right now. But the Buckeyes just really dominating the start of this third period, camping out in the Penn State defensive end.
15:06 to go here in the third period. Ohio State 3, Penn State nothing in game one of the Big Ten quarterfinal from Columbus, Ohio. One more game to be played tomorrow. If the Buckeyes hold on here and win, they will go on to the semifinal round to play either Minnesota if both Notre Dame and Michigan come away unscathed with their series, or if tragedy strikes both of those two teams, the 2 and 3 seed respectively, the Buckeyes could host a semifinal series here at the Schottenstein Center.
It's really, really cool how this Big Ten tournament for men's college hockey is laid out, right? We've got all those games, all 3 games across the tournament bracket being played right now, so we're getting live updates from Jack Murphy throughout this game on the scores from around the league.
And if you look at the way Michigan and Notre Dame have been playing towards that end of the regular season, you know, having them upset by Wisconsin and Michigan State is going to be a tougher task than just speaking it into existence. Puck along the near side. Penn State controlled it for just a moment before Ohio State breaks out. Here comes Sedlocha down the near side, and a block in front from Danny Geniev breaks it up for Ohio State. Sedlocha back in the same spot, sends it wide of the net. Sedlocha got redemption there, couldn't convert. Puck now in the neutral zone. Along the near side, Penn State in control. They send it back to their own end to Naples with it. Up ahead, across the center red. Now to Wall. Wall, spin move, backhand, left flipper save from Dobesh. Now Ohio State a 2-on-1. Treelor, near side, pulls back, he lost it. Treelor loses the handle. Here comes Penn State, it's Ryan Kerwin. From the near side, he fires one in, goes wide of Dobesh. Buckeyes, Gustav Westland kicks it with his skate over to Treelor. As Singleton now has it on the far side, no, that's Will Rydell. Not 13, but 33. We're going to get a whistle here, a face-off coming in the Penn State end.
Back on that last offensive possession for the Buckeyes. It was great work by Camille Sedlocha to get the puck to Travis Treloar, who did a beautiful toe drag move across the crease. He should have fed it to a cutting Tate Singleton, who was in on goal. Couldn't find him, and the Buckeyes don't capitalize.
Ohio State off the faceoff. Merkulov to Preston, who ripped it. Off the half wall, Cole McWard comes back to retrieve it. If the Buckeyes can hold on here, this would give them a lot of momentum going into tomorrow, especially knowing that the Buckeyes are without Mason Lorai, and this would be their first win without him as they ended this series with a 4-game losing streak. We know how much he matters to the team. It hurts the Buckeyes and Coach Rollick to have him not dressing for this important series. McWard dumps it in, and looks like it went into the Penn State benches. Had a little bit of a vanishing puck trick there, as not even the linesman knew where that one went. But we'll get a stoppage of play.
Unfortunately for Penn State defensively right now, the Nittany Lions are really struggling to get back in transition. This was a problem, actually, we saw the Buckeyes have earlier in this game, but now the tables have turned, and Penn State on their heels skating backwards. They're not getting enough numbers behind the puck, and the Buckeyes are getting uncontested shots on the Penn State net at this moment in the game, and that's part of the reason why they're up 3-0, Caleb.
12:29 to go in the game. Ohio State 3, Penn State nothing. Puck ripped in along the half wall by Ohio State. Sent back out by the Penn State defense through the neutral zone into Ohio State territory. Ohio State playing defense in their own end. First shot ripped in from Penn State, and it's a goal. Tyler Puckett, his first look at the net, and he rips it in, converts.
Well, amidst all this praise for this Buckeyes squad, they've been getting up and down the ice really well so far tonight through the later stages of the game. They fell asleep there defensively in a neutral territory in the offensive zone for Penn State, and they capitalize immediately. Hey, they're not out of this game. Just 2 goals in 12 minutes. That's plenty of time in a hockey game. And this Nittany Lions squad now a little bit ignited, a little bit more pep in their step. We'll see how much pressure they apply on this Buckeye side after that goal.
It took 35 shots from the Nittany Lions before shot number 36 found the back of the net. And Penn State cuts into this Ohio State lead, putting the advantage at 3-1 for Ohio State. Here comes Pocket again, whose shot couldn't get through the Ohio State defense. Grant Gabriel putting his body in front of that. Gilden sails down to the Buckeye attacking zone. Now tied up on the near side corner is Dunlap. Shot flipped in, goes wide from Gildon. Sending ahead, can't convert against Soulier. Ohio State keeps it alive now. Dunlap sends it in, looking for the wraparound. Couldn't find it, was Jake Wise. Now from the slot, shot goes wide. Tremendous velocity on that ripper from Cole McWard. Jake Wise had it, looked to be passing it back to McWard before he lost it. McWard up the near side, dumps it into the zone with Joe Dunlap. Sends it in, goes right off Mason Berger. Berger gets up, noticeably favoring his chest after that one. Westland frees it up. Across into Buckeye territory come the Nittany Lions. Down 2 now after the goal from Tyler Puckett. Breathes new momentum into this Nittany Lions squad here with 10:43 to go in the game. Glove down by Singleton in the Penn State zone on the far side now. Dancing around some Navy jerseys. Here as the puck sails around from left to right. Regula sends one in. He was looking for Treloar. Couldn't find him off the pass, but Treloar corrals the rebound. Now sent in to Gustav Westland. Behind the goal, flipped around. Penn State taking their time. McMenamin had it. The alternate captain for the Nittany Lions now sent ahead to Sarlo. Christian Sarlo. Sinnich shot again! Another goal in quick succession. And Penn State goes to 3-2. Now down 1 to the Buckeyes.
Yeah, that was a beautiful uncontested wrister by the junior from Collegeville, Pennsylvania, Connor McMenamin, the alternate captain for the Nittany Lions. And again, this Buckeyes team, we saw this plague them earlier in the game. We just mentioned it, getting back in transition defense. There was nobody back. An uncontested shot on Jakub Dobesh goes far pad, and that is almost an impossible stop if you know how to play the goalie position in hockey. And this Buckeyes lead is now down to just one, Caleb.
2 quick goals for Penn State. Put the Nittany Lions right back in this one, now at 3-2. 1 goal advantage for the Buckeyes. Penn State once again in the danger zone in Ohio State territory. Ohio State's defense come up big. Now at the slot. Ohio State with it now, freeing it up off the defense. Sent ahead to the near side. Preston racing it. Sends it in. Glove save from Soulier. Brings the glove right in front of his face. And he's pushed down. Quinn Preston shoved by Xander Lampa. And the officials will get involved.
That's a great job even spotting out those names, Caleb. I couldn't see who was in that mess right in front of Soulier in the Penn State goal. Everyone seems aggravated right now at this point in the game. Clearly, Penn State is getting under Ohio State's skin here, getting 2 quick goals, still with almost 10 minutes to play in this third period. Caleb, there's plenty of time for them to get the equalizer, and they're doing it off the counterattacks. We mentioned that earlier. They are scoring goals and getting those great opportunities off of their counterattacks. Transition offense is their strong suit, and it is on full display here in this third period so far.
Media timeout here. We're going to step aside at 9:36. Ohio State 3, Penn State 2. You're listening to the men's hockey Big Ten quarterfinal on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. Welcome back to third period action here in the Big Ten quarterfinal between Ohio State and Penn State. The Nittany Lions, 2 quick goals there ahead of that break have put them right back in this game. Only a 1-goal lead for Ohio State. On Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio, Andrew Conover, Caleb Spinner in the building in Columbus here for what has been an electric game all throughout. Ohio State went on a run in the second period. Now Penn State goes on a run in the third period. The ending of this game, very much anyone's guess. Merkulov with it now, sends it right to left, and once again skates into the Penn State bench as he tried to get it to Preston. Puck flipped up off his stick and out of play.
Well, the Buckeyes quickly need to regroup here. Coach Steve Rowlick's side really in need of a play that's really going to calm them down. Maybe they get on the power play right now, and if you're Penn State, on the other side of things, they want to keep the chaos going, get these quick transition attacks where they can really expose a vulnerable back line for the Buckeyes.
Penn State off the face-off. They send it into the Ohio State zone. Dobesh sticks it onto the twig of his teammate, who now tries to bring it ahead. It's Eric Cooley down the near side, full head of steam. Tries to deke through the legs of a Penn State defender. It's Johnson, who was able to come up big for the Nittany Lions. O'Connell collides with Tyler Puckett, raises his hands to avoid the penalty. Dobesh denies another one there off a wrister inside. Ohio State trying to break out now. Eric Cooley once again up the near side. He dumps the puck in, goes around the boards as he and a couple Buckeyes head over to be replaced at the bench. Along the near side now, Jake Wise sends it in and corralled it for Penn State does Kenny Johnson. Up the neutral zone into Ohio State territory. It's a 1-on-4 situation for Penn State on the wrong side of that battle. Up the near side to Sadlocha, who lets it touch his stick and then heads over to the bench. Now Penn State breaking out with a long pass, end-to-end. A glove save from Jakob Dobesh. That puck more or less guided into the direction of Jakob's glove.
Absolutely, Caleb, and he had a large part to do with that, right? Sticking that glove out low and long to meet the puck at its farthest point, like we've been talking about all game. But again, we saw there the Buckeyes not getting numbers back behind the puck in transition defense. Penn State got a quality scoring opportunity there, and the Buckeyes are lucky they had Jakob Dobesh between the pipes to shut the door.
Behind the net, Penn State trying to get something. Ohio State corrals it. Now down the ice. Here comes Ohio State on the attack, trying to break this game open even more than the 1-goal lead they already have here with 7:25 to go. Penn State uses the half wall to break out into the neutral zone. Now back to Ohio State's end. Shot ripped in, chest save from Dobesh. Rebound won't go either off a backhand. Penn State corrals it now at the slot. Shot goes wide to the net by a few inches. Would have been the tying goal for Penn State. Now flipped up high into the Penn State end. Touched up before an icing can be called. Westland back there. The forward playing defense here as the Nittany Lions try to bring it up. Skating through defenders. Here comes Penn State's Ben Copeland. Shot sent in. Sticked aside and then gloved down to freeze the play by Jakob Dobesh.
Yeah, beautiful play there by the senior from Medina, Minnesota. Ben Copeland for the Nittany Lions. Beautiful move, getting the puck on the right side of his body. A little bit of a toe drag there, getting into the zone. Ripped a shot on Dobesh, but Dobesh was able to shut the door once again, as he's done so frequently on these Penn State attacks tonight.
Face-off coming from the far side dot in Ohio State's end. Penn State going right to left on offense. They win the face-off, but send it back just a little bit too far, back to their own end. Dowd send it up. Couldn't get through the Buckeye defense. Now Janiev sends it in where McWard picks it up behind Dobesh in the goal. Skating up ahead, Penn State holds an 11-shot advantage, 41-30 on that part of the scoreboard, but the Buckeyes leading where it counts, 3-2. Puck sails up on the near side, up above the glass. Stays in play though. Dowd bringing it up for the Nittany Lions, sent one in, centering pass, couldn't convert. Buckeyes looking to pick it up. Here comes Ohio State. Quinn Preston sends it ahead into the Buckeye attacking zone. Merkelov raced down for it, but Carson Dick beats him to it.
Yeah, a little bit of back and forth action for both these sides since that last break we got, Caleb. We're seeing both teams just really exchanging blows, trading time of possession in each other's offensive zones, and it's really going to be the team that cracks first that's going to end up losing this contest. So both teams playing a little bit more conservatively, dumping the puck when they need to, and not taking any chances to give up what could be a crucial goal at this stage in the game.
Off the face-off, it's Ohio State coming up the near side. Cam Thiesing had it and lost it after he got checked into the boards. It's now Kevin Wall, top line Nittany Lion. Now back to the point. Another save for Dobesh and another as he'll glove that down and freeze it. The shot came from Simon Mack.
Right now we're seeing a little bit lackadaisical defense from the Buckeyes. We've seen it in spurts so far tonight, but none more great than right now, and it could be happening at quite possibly the worst time for this Ohio State squad, giving up too many point-blank chances right in front of Dobesh, who's done a good job shutting the door with 41 saves to this point in the game so far, but the Buckeyes cannot continually give up these great chances to Penn State without having to pay for it.
Penn State off the face-off, rips one in. Ohio State now corrals it on defense as Penn State grabs the turnover from Ohio State. Berger sends it ahead wide of Dobesh's glove. Tate Singleton now with it for the Buckeyes. Look to break out, then pulls back. Puck still in Ohio State territory as McWard comes back, corrals it along the near side. Sends it up ahead to Treelor. Puck remains in the neutral zone as Gustav Westland hits the ice, uses his skate to keep it in Ohio State territory. But now, here come the Nittany Lions. Shot sent in and saved. Once again, it was Dylan Lugris.
Yeah, this Penn State squad has looked totally revitalized since that second goal, really maintaining the puck in the Buckeyes' defensive zone, creating good scoring opportunities, moving the puck along the blue line, and then breaking through when the Ohio State defense gives them that hole. But right now, you're looking 5 minutes to go left in the game. The Buckeyes have to be doing everything to clear this puck every time it's on their stick.
Ohio State off the faceoff. Had it along the near side. Penn State stole it away. They tried to wrap around, but Dobesh was there with a skate to the post. Another shot now, this time from the near side. Saved immediately from Jakob Dobesh, a routine save. Ohio State, they had 3 wins in the 4 meetings they've had with the Penn State Nittany Lions ahead of this point. All-time record. This is the 37th meeting. The Buckeyes are 20-13-4, 10-7-2 versus Penn State in Columbus. And with 4:51 to go in the third period, looking to improve that home record even more. But we saw how quickly Penn State put 2 on the board. Anything can still happen in this hockey game. Along the near side, Penn State tries to get it into the slot. Now sent ahead through the neutral zone, and Penn State comes back to corral it in their own ice. They send it up ahead through no man's land. Pinned against the boards on the near side, it was Gildon who sent Ben Schoen to the ice. Doesn't look to be enough for a penalty, but we will get a face-off in the Penn State end.
Yeah, I think actually when that puck popped up in the air, it was played illegally with the hand right there. That's the only thing that could move the face-off back into Penn State's zone like this. And this is actually a critical call at this juncture in the game, because a face-off in your defensive zone right now is your worst nightmare in a 1-goal hockey game.
On the near side now, it's Ohio State. Flipped ahead now to Lampa, bringing it up for the Nittany Lions. Wraps it around, sticked away by Dobesh as it went off the boards behind the goal. Wrapped around to the far side. Loose puck. Ohio State, Mark Chiarametta with it. Tried to connect with a teammate on the near side, but couldn't get through Lampa and the Nittany Lions. 4:06 to go before we call this a game. Along the near side, Ohio State. Pinned up against the boards. Now back to their own end, corralling it. Up to the near side, Quentin Preston dumps it in, races to the corner. Can't save it from Penn State as the Nittany Lions will break out of their zone. Up ahead to the neutral zone. Now ahead would have been a wide open look for Penn State, a wide open rush on Dobesh, if not for an outstanding play from Ohio State on defense. Back now to Berger in the Penn State zone. Ahead from Copeland. Puck enters Ohio State's end. Now behind the goal, pinned up against the boards, was Jimmy Dowd Jr. of the Nittany Lions. Here comes Merkelov. He's broken out ahead. Sulier comes out to meet him. Merkelov scores again! Spins the wrist for the Selly on the near side. He's got his second tonight. 4-0 Buckeyes. 4-2 Buckeyes.
Yeah, well, right there, Caleb, we saw another good breakaway opportunity for this Buckeyes team. Another long stretch pass going from blue to blue, and it has beat this Penn State team to a pulp all night long, and they continue their long stretch transition play. Both teams we've seen have good transition opportunities. That time, Merkelov making no mistake, going from forehand to backhand. A beautiful deke, lifting it into the net and extending this Buckeyes lead to 2 at a very important juncture in this hockey game, Caleb.
Stick handling the friend of Georgi Merkelov there. It gives him his second goal of the game. Ohio State now ahead by 2 scores. 4-2, make it 1. Penn State answers right back. Back to a 1-goal game, 4-3.
Wow, and Caleb, that happened so quickly that we're still listening to the PA here in the Schottenstein Center announce Ohio State's goal. That was less than at least 10 seconds after the Ohio State shot went in for Georgi Merkelov, and Penn State You think they're down, you think they're out of it, but clawing their way back into this one once again here, making it a 1-goal deficit with 2:50 to go. A much-needed goal for the Nittany Lions.
1 goal now separates the 4th-seeded Buckeyes from the 5th-seeded Nittany Lions here in Columbus with 2:48 to go in the game. A barn burner here developing in the shot. Another save for Jakob Dobesch there, as he's got 44 saves on 47 shots.
And you could tell visibly after that last goal that the Buckeyes gave up, Jakob Dobesch was most certainly a little bit frustrated with his defense there. Another one-on-one opportunity, point-blank range, coming out of seemingly thin air for this Penn State team, but somehow they are within 1 goal of Ohio State and looking to equalize here.
Far side dot face-off in the Buckeye end. Shot goes off the pad of Dobesch. He lost it behind him, goes over the crossbar, and Penn State keeps it alive. They send another one at him. Dobesch late to react, but saves it with his blocker. Now behind the goal, here come the Nittany Lions. Back to the point. It's Dowd commanding it. Sends it up and flicked off a stick or a body or off something, goes into the netting.
It'll be interesting to see how the Buckeyes and Coach Steve Rowlick's team play this final roughly 2 minutes of play here in this third period. Penn State really bringing the onslaught on. We see the goalie leaving the ice now for Penn State as they're going to bring that extra man on with 2 minutes to go here. A little bit early probably in some people's eyes, but the Nittany Lions trying desperately to even this score up. They know how crucial this first game is in this quarterfinal round of the Big Ten tournament, Caleb.
2:17 to go in the game. And Ohio State will call a timeout. So Ohio State will take a break, and so will we. 4-3, the Buckeyes, a 1-goal advantage over the Nittany Lions with 2:17 to go in this opening game of the Big Ten quarterfinal. You're listening to Men's College Hockey on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. Back off the Ohio State timeout. The Buckeyes lead 4-3 over Penn State here in game 1 of the Big Ten quarterfinal in Columbus with 2:11 to go in the game. Penn State in Ohio State's end, circling the point, now to the slot behind the goal line. Playing it behind Dobesch in the net. Dobesch is stretched out, covering all angles. Shot fired in, goes wide. Rebound goes to Penn State. They take it back to the point. Now through traffic towards the goal line. Sent ahead. Here comes Ohio State. Racing down the ice was Jake Wise as Penn State empties their net. The game-sealing goal now. A chance for the Buckeyes here as Penn State's net is unprotected. They pulled Liam Soulier for an extra attacker. Dobesch, another save. You can hear that from here. Ohio State playing defense in their own end. Ripped down to the other side of the sheet. And now with 1:13, Ohio State, it's called for the icing, and we'll see if Soulier comes back out. I doubt he will.
Yeah, I think they're going to go without him for this final minute, 12 seconds, unless they have a face-off towards their own zone. But the Buckeyes are more than happy right now to take that icing, just doing anything to pause play, get a little bit of a breather, and get some fresh legs on the ice if they can.
Face-off coming, 6-5 advantage for Penn State after they pulled their goaltender, Liam Soulier. Empty net for Ohio State. flipped ahead. It's going to go wide right to the goal. And the Nittany Lions come back for it. It'll be an icing call once again. Soulier remains at the bench with 1:01 to go in the game. Penn State down 4-3. The opening game win in this Big Ten quarterfinal, 1:61 seconds away for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Back to the slot, far side corner in Ohio State zone. Puck skates out. Here comes Thiesing. Gets a stick on it. Sends it in the direction of the goal. It's going to go wide to the left. Thiesing loses his stick. Uses his skate to guide the puck away. Thiesing skates over to the bench as the Nittany Lions will try one more attack here with 35 seconds. And the linesman is going to blow his whistle. Looks to call an offsides against Penn State.
You sometimes wonder in these open net situations how the puck doesn't go in, and that was certainly a case right there. That one for the Buckeyes trickling just barely wide to the left side of the net. But at this juncture in the game currently, a face-off outside of the Buckeye zone is a welcome sight for Jakub Dobesh and the entire Buckeye squad, as they have been getting absolutely barraged here down the closing stretches of this third period.
Penn State trying to make one more push against Ohio State to force an overtime. 26 seconds. Shot flipped up, denied by Dobesh. Back to the point. Now to the slot on the near side. Battle for the puck in Ohio State's end. 4-3 Ohio State's advantage with 12 seconds left. Penn State wraps it around behind the goal. Puck skates free. Ohio State looking for the empty netter. In the neutral zone, trying to free it up. 2-1, Buckeyes win. The 4th seed Ohio State Buckeyes take game 1 in the opening round of the Big Ten tournament and are 1 game away from moving on to the semifinal.
Absolutely crucial victory at home for the Buckeyes to start this 3-game series, and you couldn't have done it in better of a fashion. Lots of guys scoring goals. There was a couple moments where the Buckeyes slipped up in transition on defense, and you can see the players right now exchanging camaraderies. They'll be right back on the ice here tomorrow night. The showdown once again. Penn State will be fighting for the lives of their season, while Ohio State looking to close things out. It was a competitive contest, Caleb, and a great hockey game to be able to call with you.
And if the game tomorrow bears any resemblance to this one, we are in for a thrilling potential conclusion to this series. That'll do it for us here on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. We'll have action again tomorrow. Puck set to drop at 7 p.m. We thank you for listening to the inaugural SGSR live stream. We'll do more of these going into next season, but we're doing this now because we've got crews in Indianapolis and Minnesota. We've got our 2 people on the road for there, so YouTube was our only facet to stream. And so we thank you for tuning in to this inaugural project here. For Jack Murphy, Andrew Conover, I'm Caleb Spinner. Thanks so much for tuning in. Until tomorrow, that's the game. We're out of here.